Hello, this is my first ever video, and today we're going to discuss limits in the form of the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 plus 1 over x all to the power of x. And as you may know, that limit is known to be e. If you inspect this, you'll notice that it's an indeterminate form, 1 to the infinity, but this limit being known as e allows us to do some pretty neat things with some other limits. And that's what I'm going to show you guys in this video. So we'll try a few examples first. How would you do the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 minus 1 over x all to the x? Well, you're going to say that this is the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 plus 1 over negative x all to the x. And now that we have that, we can actually do something interesting. What I'm going to do actually is, first of all, I'm going to raise this all to the power of negative 1, and then raise it all to the power of negative 1 again. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this, but what's going on here is that I'm trying to get this number to be the same as this number. So the reason I was allowed to just raise it to the power of negative 1 twice is because if you work it out, to the power of negative 1 to the power of negative 1, if you'll remember, a to the b all to the power of c equals a to the power of bc. So all of this to the power of x to the power of negative 1 to the power of negative 1, that ends up being x again, because negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. So I'll take that 1 and use this property and move it into here. Now that's negative 1. And by the properties of limits, if you have the limit as x approaches infinity, a constant a, from the right or the left, negative infinity, anything, a to the power of, f of x, to some constant a, this is actually equal to the limit as x approaches infinity of f of x, and all of that to the a. So what do we notice here? This number is the same as this number. So what if I were to take, well, what if I can just apply this right away, because these numbers are the same. So that ends up being e to the negative 1 by this property. So that's one of the limits that you can do with this property. Another one that I find pretty interesting is the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 plus 2 over x to the x. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to rewrite this as the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1/2 x, right? And we can do this because if you take this 1/2, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of that fraction. So we could move this 2 up here and get 2 over x, just like this. Then what I'll do from there is I will raise this to the 1/2 power, and then raise it all again to the second power, so that these cancel out, and it's an equivalent expression to the one I just had before. And now that these numbers are the same, this is e squared. So that's another way you can do this. And then here's another example that's it's the limit as k approaches infinity of k over k plus 1 all to the k. Now, upon first glance, this limit is not in that convenient form we had earlier, which was limit as x approaches infinity of 1 plus 1 over x to the x equals e. This is in a different form, but I'm going to apply this manipulation to it, which is going to allow us to use that property to work out this limit. I'm going to say that this is the limit as k approaches infinity of k plus 1 over k, sorry, that looks like a u, to the negative k. Now, how did I do this? Well, remember that a over b equals b over a to the negative 1 power, because it would be essentially like this. B to the negative 1 over a to the negative 1, and b to the negative 1 is 1 over b, a to the negative 1 is 1 over a, right? So that's 1 over b over 1 over a, and that equals a over b. So what I did here is I took that power out that allowed me to flip over that fraction, and from there, what I'll do is I will split this fraction. That's k over k plus 1 over k all to the negative k. K over k is just 1. So 1 plus 1 over k to the negative k. Oh, and look, now we're back to this sort of form. Well, I'll raise it to the power of negative 1, and then again, and these negatives cancel out. So that ends up being, now since these numbers are the same, k and k, this ends up being e to the negative 1, and that equals 1 over e. So those are just a few examples of what you can do with this limit. Thanks so much for watching. Means a lot to me as I'm a new small channel trying to make math tutorials. And if you guys have any questions about anything I did in this video or would like to see a video about any other topic, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you so much.